Okay, little bee, whatever you are. Oh, there's a little bee next to the camera just buzzing around. I don't know why, but must be interested or is trying to get some screen time. We'll see if he actually flies around in the front. But on one of my videos, which video was it actually? Uh, I hear the chunk now. What video was this? I can't figure it out which video it was, but CT Masonry 4222 had asked a question. Does living out in the middle of nowhere make you more anxious when you hear noises or the dogs bark at night versus living in a decent neighborhood where you know nothing is normally happening outside if the dogs are barking, being that you live both in the city and the country environments? Does that situation ever apply to you? Hey, my chunk. You wanted to come say hi? Come here. He was just down at the creek. Hi. You want to say hi? Say hi to the people. You want to say shalom?
Wow.
You got dirt in your hair.
Yeah.
Were you playing in the creek?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Did you throw some rocks?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
We climbed the rocks too.
He what?
We climbed the rocks and went through the walkway.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, tell everybody bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Here, you forgot your shovel. Here's your shovel. So, in my answer to him was, I started to think about the scale of Standoff. When I lived back in the Communist Republic of New Jersey in East Orange, the scale of Standoff was very short, extremely short. We lived in a house on a quarter of an acre of land, and all the houses touched each other. It wasn't like, oh, there's a little gap or an alleyway or a little space to go in between the houses. No, if I was the Kool-Aid man and I tried to go through one of the walls and I was actually good enough to slide through and miss the stud, I would be in someone else's living room, well, unless if I'm upstairs or something like that. So there was no actual no standoff between you and your neighbor. If you were being loud, they can hear you through the walls. If they were being loud, it was almost like a bad apartment, but these were townhouses that were what, close to 500, if not 700,000. Like when I left, that was the cost of living for these townhouses. And who I was renting from, they were trying to get me to purchase that. I was like, no, we'll go live on a semi truck or get a van or move to the country somewhere, which we actually ended up doing. So that scale of Standoff was very short. The fight would be brought to your doorstep. So if you heard dogs barking there, that I wouldn't pay much attention to those dogs, because those dogs in the city, they're just reacting to anything, almost like guinea hens, how they react to everything. They don't have space to be able to acclimate, and if there's really a problem, that problem is a distance away, and then they'll go take care of that problem. But when you're in a city, the majority of the dogs, because you gotta keep them on a leash or a tether or something like that, and those dogs can't go out and roam, or they're house dogs or some other nonsense like that. So, and your area and your environment is not necessarily controlled when you live in a big city because everyone is driving up and down your roads. Even if you are in an area like a suburbs area, there's still massive freedom of movement, so that if a problem happens over there, it'll get to you fairly quickly. Or people that are looking to break into cars, they have easy access to you at all times. Now, where I live at now, that scale of standoff is a lot more different. There are people that are, well, we live on the top of a mountain, so people will have to intentionally come up here to the mountain, have to deal with complete and total darkness because there's no electric poles or anything near us. Uh, they would also have to be bold enough to uh, to want to desire to do something to us, or want to rob and steal from us, or want to have that potential to deal with our dogs, because we don't just have one dog. We have quite a few that they roam not only our property, they roam the entire area because they're not really worried too much about people, but they will react to people when I'm not outside. But they're looking at hunting for coyotes. Yeah. So if your dog isn't acclimated to the country, that'll be very scary to them. Our dogs are acclimated to the country. Plus, people know that living really rural, if you aren't carrying, you are a sitting duck. Now, people up here in the mountain, they know and have heard me shooting, different things like that. So if they wouldn't put out a signal to their friends and family that might be uh, living on the other side of the law, like, hey, there's this guy up here, maybe you could go steal from him. Wouldn't be smart, because the people that I'm living around know not to mess with me. Then you have, let's say there's a riot in town. Type of place I live in, that'll get squashed really quickly. Like some type of riot or anything like that. That's for those big city type things. Big city, for me, let's say Tulsa or Oklahoma City, that's 4 hours that way, or 3.5 hours that way. It's not happening anywhere over here. What is that? Little Rock, Arkansas. That's a documentary that I told my wife about. The only thing I knew about Little Rock, Arkansas when I was young was this documentary called Banging in Little Rock. That's how I learned about gang violence and stuff like that. But Little Rock, Arkansas is what, 6 hours away? It's not happening anywhere near here. No one, I don't think is stupid enough to try and say, "Oh, we're gonna riot and do this here." No, this is where good old boys live. You try some stuff like that, maybe if they're nice, they'll mail your body back to your family, or else you're gonna completely disappear. It's not happening out here. That's why you make friends with people. You be nice. You tip your hat. You introduce yourself. You let them know who you are. Because out here, you won't survive. You won't survive if you don't have people. If you're not liked, you won't survive out here from the elements. You'll get cut off from society. You don't want that. But that's the type of place I like to live in, because it's truth and honesty. It's not a whole bunch of people trying to pretend to be something that they are not. You don't want that. You don't want to be around that. You want to be able to live out here, not have to worry, not have to stress, not have to deal with noise pollution, not have to deal with light pollution, not have to deal with cars running up and down your road, blowing the horns and traffic and all that stuff. That's miles away from me. I can't even think the last time that I heard somebody blow a horn. Well, I wasn't even in this state the last time I heard someone blow a horn, let alone be in traffic. What is traffic out here? Traffic is, oh, there's a cone up and you have to go around it and you might see another vehicle on the road at the same time. There's no bumper to bumper traffic. What is that? Oh, you're going to the supermarket and it's kind of crowded. That's your traffic jam right there. Going to the supermarket. Oh, being in the supermarket parking lot. Not even out on the road. Everything is flowing nice and smooth. Nothing to stress about. Nothing to get your heart rate up. Shoot, I remember back east sitting in traffic just to get off the exit to get home. And you're sitting there for 30 minutes to get off an exit, off of a highway. That's not the way to live. Not at all. It's too many people living on top of each other in these big cities. That population density is nonsense. Get out while you can. That's the best advice I got for you. So you can have some standoff. You don't have to worry and deal with that nonsense. If my dogs are barking, they're going to take care of the job before I even need to get there. So I don't have any worries about that. Live unafraid. Shalom.